right. Thank you, Rajesh, for joining us. Rajesh runs GSF Accelerator for those who don't know. So let me get started by asking you this. What is the basic difference between an accelerator and an incubator?
So, an incubator should be in the job of taking you from idea to product.
Okay.
So, you have an idea, you don't know how to get started about it. That is the job of an incubator, to help you convert your idea into a product. Accelerator, as the name says, that you now have a product, you now need a go-to-market strategy. And even you may at some stage also have a few customers, but you need to accelerate your journey. So the accelerator should be about when you've started, your 6 months, 1 year down the line. Some product, some learning has gone, there's a little bit of team, now you need to step up your game. So that's when ideally an accelerator should help you. So typically in GSF Accelerator, we take companies which are 6 months to 2 years old.
Okay.
They have a team, they have some product. Product is never perfect, as you know, it keeps going through iterations. And then we help them to improve the product market fit, as they call it, and then take them to market and accelerate their journey so that they can be VC ready or ready for larger dose of capital in another 6 months. So typically a company out of an accelerator, good accelerator, should be able to raise $500,000 to 3 to 5 million in its next round. So let's first understand the business models of incubator and accelerator, right? So that's also important. Many incubators are historically embedded into universities.
Okay.
So the idea was that you have some research or you have some bright students and you can help them to convert themselves into businesses or product, at least, you know, from idea to product. Most accelerators have either a funding kind of a mindset like Y Combinator or GSF, or many times they come from a corporate background. So many corporates like Microsoft had one, or Times Internet had one.
Yeah.
Target had one in India. So they went into accelerators stage. Secondly, almost always incubators are not funding the startups. They are providing guidance and mentoring, and so basically they may take a fee. Fee could be mostly because startups can't pay a fee, so it tends to be some kind of 1 to 5% kind of equity share. Accelerators also are of two types. Some accelerators just provide mentoring and they take some advisory fee, but GSF and YC always invest, right? So for example, Y Combinator is an accelerator, world's #1 accelerator. They typically give $150 and take about 7% stake on a instrument called YC Safe, right? So some kind of a convertible instrument. GSF typically invests 200K to 250K in a company and takes about 10 to 15% stake. So incubator accelerators should take very small stakes in the company. Part of that stake is advisory or mentorship, but YC and GSF are also investors. So we are also in a way seed investors.
Can somebody graduate from an incubator into an accelerator, or people don't do that?
Don't do that. So we ran a program this year called GSF Boot Camp. So it was an incubation program. It was meant for those founders who were sort of struggling with 3-4 issues. One, they wanted to validate their idea, or even if they had built a product, they didn't know how to go from there. They were not even ready to accelerate, but had a lot of doubts. So they could come and get feedback from us and other mentors, and over 3 months, get the thesis right. Then we had other set of founders there, like many founders start alone, right? They don't even have another co-founder. So they were sort of saying, how do I have an idea, how do I build a team with me? So they were also searching for co-founders. So for example, there is a setup called Entrepreneur First in Bangalore. It's a global setup. Their thesis is that only. They get entrepreneurs to meet and help them to form a team, right? That is also a very big issue when you're starting up. because as you know, most VCs also now prefer to have 2 to 3 founder team rather than a single founder team.
Yeah.
And that becomes a challenge for a lot of founders. Some founders have their alumni access or previous work relationship, and they start with that. But there are a lot of bright people who don't have that. So that was another objective. So to find a co-founder amongst, there were 30, 40 people in that cohort, very strong. EF also does that. And the other idea is at that stage, they are primarily bootstrapped, or they are friends and family kind of round. They have raised 10 lakhs to 1 crore from friends and family, or bootstrapping. There are 3 founders, 1 founder is full-time, 2 are part-time. We have many such people in this cohort. So when you come to an accelerator, we can't have this. You are full-time. Your team should be there, right? So all those issues can work, through incubation stage, because a lot of people will find it financially difficult to sort of build their business with leaving jobs, right? The need to sustain. So I think of it first 6 months to 1 year incubation, and then next 6 months to 1 year acceleration. Then you're ready for VC typically. Most young founders, irrespective of pedigree, right? They have to go through this first 1 to 3 years of grind before they become venture ready. Some become venture ready in 6 months, some become venture ready in 2.5 months, a year, so it's okay.
What is the time commitment that you have to have for an accelerator? And do you have to, which I know is a lot of concern, especially for women entrepreneurs, is do you have to relocate to that accelerator? How does it work?
Yeah, so one, you should be full-time, right? When you go to YC, you cannot be saying, the core team has to be full-time, 2, 3 founders. You may have advisors, someone will come after 3 months. Those issues are understood. Secondly, for us, for example, a lot of these companies are functioning entities. They have offices, right? They cannot come and locate with us full-time. But what we do is we create period of 1 week where both founders come, right? And then we give them gaps. Then we take them to Silicon Valley for 2 weeks. Then 2 founders come. So we are flexible to the needs of companies that we fund in, because these companies are slightly more evolved. But incubators, I think in GSF Incubator, I felt there was more benefit if they co-located and worked together. Yeah. So they were getting ideas, they're bouncing off things from each other's. But now what we did, because we started the GSF Boot Camp in January, but then this Corona happened in March, and then sort of we disbanded that physical office and then worked remotely. And I have found even that to be very successful.
Let's talk about application process. How rigorous is it? What do I need to have my act together in terms of applying to, because I know accelerator is the stage where it gets fairly competitive, right? So what do I need to have together?
Yeah,
and then let's
simple.
cover the post
so most
phase.
Accelerators open their applications periodically.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, YC will do it twice in a year or thrice in a year. So you have to track those dates and then put your application up. That's it. So it's basically basic information about you, your company, a small video, a product demo, something like that. Nothing fancy, and your deck. Right. So these are the basic things: a video, a product demo, and a deck. Plus your honest there are some simple questions which help people to shortlist. Think like we did in last batch 5 companies, we got 500 applications. So we know that these are the companies that space selection and market size, team, product evolution. So you look at all of that. So it's therefore good to make a good application, right? Yeah. Like if you look at Surge, which is basically a seed funding program, it's not an accelerator program, it's sort of accelerated and seed. It's also competitive for them. So they're also funding companies between 6 months to 5 years old, right? So you must make a good application, good deck. It always helps, right? The second stage is that someone from the GSF or YC or Surge will then get in touch with you, right? Okay. Generally, these will be analyst level people. Sometimes it could be partner level people, right? They will do the calls with you to understand where you are. If there are some information gaps, we have questions, we'll follow on that. And finally, in our case, we call the final 10, 15 companies to meet our investment committee. And this happens in YC also. So if you are in the final stage of YC, you are called to meet YC founders. Earlier, you had to go to Silicon Valley. Now, I think they come to Bangalore. I don't know this year how they do it. They'll probably be doing Zoom calls. But the partner will then meet you, ask you questions, and you pitch like the way you pitch to a VC.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, investment committee will look at all those 15 in our case application and then say, okay, these are the 5 we really like, these are the 5 who could be waitlisted, and these are the 5 will pass. Right?
But what is it that I get out of committing time and giving away equity? What am I getting from GSF?
Accelerators are really helpful when you build something and you have serious issues, right? You got 100,000 people download your app and you're not growing now, right? A lot of issues happen, right? You are struggling with recruiting people, right? You have some kind of go-to-market strategy dilemma. Should I go offline? Should I go online? And then you need to validate all of that with some people who've been through that journey.
Yeah.
And then still make your own strategy. But if you have answers to that, you don't need accelerators. Go straight away, raise money from VCs.
Thank you so much, Rajesh. I really, really appreciate this. Thanks
all
so
the
much.
Best.